Hello everybody, my name is Trevor and welcome to my first YouTube video. Here I'm going to be ranking the Kiss albums. Kiss is my favorite band. I find enjoyment out of all their albums, so just because one's super low on the list that you guys may love, and one that's super high on my list that you guys may hate, doesn't mean anything. I don't love every Kiss album, however I find enjoyment out of every Kiss album because they are my favorite band. So, enough with my talking. This is all my opinion. I have the list right here. I do not own every Kiss album. I'm also only going to do the first 3 live albums. Don't know why I left out Unplugged and the other 2. I just did. I've heard them both a million times, enough to rank them. The Symphony and the Live 4, whatever it's called, coming in at last, if that does help. And then Unplugged will be a lot higher on my list. I just didn't throw them in the list. But anyways, coming in at last, Carnival of Souls, crap album. Never got it, never understood it. Hate, okay song. Everything else, I don't like anything else off of it. But other than that, you know, the only reason I did like Hate is because another YouTube channel I like, In My Head, he did the panel, and then when I listened to the album, I did find enjoyment off of Hate. I think if that was mostly Gene, I think that album might be a little higher, but it wasn't all Gene. After that, coming at 26, Sonic Boom has some horrible tracks, has some fantastic tracks. Modern Day Delilah is cool. Never Enough is horrible. Danger, horrible. Stand, top 5 least favorite Kiss song. Hot and Cold. When I first heard this album when I was like 6 or 7, I loved that song. I used to play it over and over and over again. But as time passes, no. I just, it's okay. I won't skip it if I do put this on. I'm an Animal, fantastic. The last 3 tracks, I'm an Animal, When Lightning Strikes, Say Yeah. All great tracks. Everything else off of it, All for the Glory is okay, but that's it. And then coming at 25, Crazy Nights. I know this is probably elite last for some of you guys. I don't know. I hate My Way, Bang Bang You. I've never been a big fan of. What else? Hell or High Water. Not a huge fan of that track. Bang Bang You, I think it's cool just because it's throwing back to, Love Gun. But other than that, Crazy Nights title track, not a big fan of that one. However, Turn on the Night, fantastic song. Deep in the Night, great song. Good Girl Gone Bad, Reason to Live, When Your Walls Come Down. No, the beginning, I think everybody thinks the beginning is fantastic, so Crazy Nights. Then, after Crazy Nights at 24, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. Revenge. It's overrated. Even the good Unholy's a good song. Good. Not great. It's a good song. Take It Off's cool for what it is. Tough Love, I like the lyrics, but the music I'm not super into. I hate the song Paralyzed on here. I'll skip it 10 out of 10 times. I do not like it. Honestly, I hate it so much I don't even remember what it sounds like. So, God Gave Rock and Roll to You is a cool anthem, but after a while it just gets old. It's one of those songs, even though I never hear it, radio, public, movies, whatever, I never hear it. It just, it just doesn't have a lot of replay value. First 4 or 5 times you hear it, it's like, whoa, that's a cool track, and then after that, it's kind of just, so. 23, 22, The Elder. I do love this album quite a bit. Don't like the album cover. I know it's trying to assemble something cool. Gatefold, though. Could have had a picture of Kiss. I think it'd be cool if you had, you know, Gene, Ace, Paul, and Eric around sitting in the chairs. I think that'd be really cool. But other than that, there's nothing too stand out-ish of this album. World Without Heroes is a cool ballad. The Oath, awesome instrumental in Escape from the Island. Mr. Blackwell, something about Mr. Blackwell. If you had told me Gene wrote that song while he was writing his solo album, I wouldn't be surprised. Or if you told me the song was off of his solo album without knowing it was on this album, wouldn't be surprised. Because it is, you know, you can tell Gene was definitely trying to get. I don't like the first 3 tracks off of it, really. Fanfare isn't even really a song. Just a bunch of whistles and that stuff. Just a Boy, I don't like. Odyssey, I don't like. Only Use, cool. Under the Rose is cool for what it is. And Dark Light, I love Dark Light. Ace is my favorite member, so yeah. And then after that, you're gonna get at 22, 21, you're gonna get Animalize. Another great album. Probably my least listened to Kiss album. This along with Carnival of Souls. I don't like the last 2 tracks off of it, While the City Sleeps. Everything else is cool. Burn Bitch Burn is kind of silly and funny and cool for what it is. I've Had Enough Into the Fire is awesome too. I think that's awesome opener. Lonely as the Hunter, one of my favorite Gene songs in general. One of my favorite non-makeup songs in general. Cool track, cool album. I like the album cover. I've heard a lot of people say they don't like it. I like it. Maybe I'm just weird. Bet I have this one too low, right? Paul Stanley solo album at whatever number. It's cool. I don't like the 2 ballads off of it. I don't like when Paul gets sappy. Gene, I think, has a beautiful ballad. Paul has probably, technically wise, Paul has the best voice in Kiss. But I just haven't been a big fan. I think he's missing swagger. I think there's swagger on some other of these albums that Paul, I think he has a bunch of swagger in Move On. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, he has swagger, and Love in Chains, and it's alright. Everything else, I think he's just missing, like, swagger. He's missing something. But that's, because everything else off of here, except for the 2 ballads, I like every song on here. It just falls short to the other ones. It falls short to this one, believe it or not. I don't know. These 2 are about tied. If you told me to pick one, I think I'm going to go with Gene's, just because, for the simple fact that overall album, I can't pick. The only reason I'm going to pick Gene's is because my favorite song off of here is Mr. Make Believe. Favorite song off of here, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me. I like Mr. Make Believe over Wouldn't You Like to Know Me. When it came down to making this list, that's what made me choose this album. Because favorite song off this one, because I like them the same, but, you know, I just had to compare songs, so, yeah. And then we have Hot in the Shade. Super long. Silver Spoon, I don't like. Read My Body, I don't think anybody likes Read My Body. Boomerang, don't like. There has to be one other song on there that I don't like. There's one other song. I'm drawing a blank. I might, you know, put it up on the screen or something later. I don't know. Everything else, you know, I like Hide in Your Heart. I think I like everything else off of the album. King of Hearts, I think, is a cool song. Even the first time I heard that, Little Caesar, and Betrayed. Those 3, because the first time I heard it, I thought it was crap. I thought it was horrible. However, I've always liked those 3 songs. However, I've grown to love a lot more of songs off that album. I think Eric, even though a lot of people don't like Little Caesar, I think Eric had a great voice. And I like raspier voices in people, and Eric definitely did not have that. However, I did think he had a cool voice, so, you know. After Hot in the Shade, we have Psycho Circus. Enjoy a lot off this album, yes, I know. Ace and Peter didn't sing or play on it other than, is it Into the Void? There's one of these songs that, or at least I heard that they play it. I don't really keep my albums in shrink wrap, however I did this one because I don't want it to get scratched up, and I don't like that. I don't like when people rub their finger on this, it makes me cringe. So that's the only reason I kept this in the shrink wrap. Cool stuff. I even love We Are One. Thank you, Ralph from Almost Human, for opening to me how great that album is. If you ever see this, I doubt you ever will. But if you do, you're a cool motherfucker. I finally found my way. Don't like. However, it's not my least favorite song off the album. Journey of a Thousand Years is my least favorite. I know that's looked at as a great song off this album. I never got it. Never liked it. Now, I think it'd be cooler, not the song itself, but just the title if they named it Journey of 100,000 Years, just because I think it's, I don't know. Just cause I think it's, be cool if they did it, even though it doesn't matter. I don't like the song anyways. I think it just make it cooler. Raise Your Glasses is a cool song, however, it gets annoying. You Wanted the Best is my favorite song off here. I know it's kind of boring and weird. And I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll. Loved that album when I was loved that song when I was in second grade. But other than that, since, I've gotten back into Kiss because I liked Kiss and then I grew out of them and then I got back into them, I never really picked that song back up. After Psycho Circus, we have Monster. Love this album. Eat Your Heart Out's the only one I don't like off this album. Everything else is cool. All for the Love of Rock and Roll. I think it's a lot like God Gave Rock and Roll to You, in my opinion. It's a lot like that. I think it's cool. I think it's nice. I don't go back and play it because the first few times I heard it, I was like, that's a cool song. After that, I've really gone into it. So yeah. And then we have Live 3 after Monster. I think we have to be at, we're at 15, maybe a little less than that, right? Because, hold on, we're at 14, 15, something like that, sorry. After that, we have Live 3. I do enjoy most of that album. There might be one or two songs. I don't own it. However, it's cool. I don't think it follows up from the other two Kiss Alive albums from the 70s. The 70s Kiss was untouchable. You'll see how much I love 70s Kiss in a minute here. But Alive 3 Deuce is one of my favorite. Hell, I think I'll take the first Alive version of Deuce over the third Alive 3 version of Deuce. However, it does compare to me. I think it is, it could be one or the other in my opinion, but yeah. And then after that, this one's low on my list, I understand. Creatures of the Night. I don't know how to say this. It's not overrated, but for lack of a better word, it is overrated. It's not overrated because it is what people make it seem like. But, Creatures of the Night, I've never been a big fan of it. It's a cool song. However, it's always been my least favorite off this album, along with I Still Love You. Cool song. Falls short to everything else. But yeah, I love every other track on this. But even the two that I did name, they're still good songs, in my opinion. But, After Creatures, we have Lick It Up. Love this album to death. Exciter, Not for the Innocent, Young and Wasted, Give Me More, All Hell's Breaking Loose, A Million to One, Fits Like a Glove, Dance All Over Your Face, and On the Eighth Day. The only song I skipped was the title track, Lick It Up, because I'm not a big fan of that song. I think it's annoying. I think it's too slow. If they had sped it up, that would have I'd consider this a perfect album if they had spun it up, or even just took that track off. This album's fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Then we have, hold on. Alright, then we have Peter Criss, my second favorite solo album. I'm not a jazz person in the slightest. However, this album, love this album a lot, a lot. You know, Kiss a Girl Goodbye, don't really like that song, but everything else on this I like. Also, is You Matter to Me. I'm not a big fan of that song, but everything else on this, I Can't Stop the Rain, is my favorite ballad of all time. Not a big ballad person, however, that ballad would make one of my favorite songs of all time. Then we have Asylum. I think everything else I have, right? Yeah, I have everything else. Asylum, my favorite non-makeup album. What can I say? It's a fantastic album. I think they just nailed it. Kiss hasn't made an album as good as this one ever until, other than the ones before it. But this is their last one that I'll say that I like every track off of, because, everything else. We have everything with Peter Criss on the cover other than the Psycho Circus left. So let's go. The only non-70s album, the Peter Criss. I said that this was my favorite. I have all the ones other than the Psycho Circus with Peter Criss on the cover, because every Kiss fan knows that Peter did not play on the album. It was, Jesus Christ, what's his name? The guy who played on fucking Aces. I'm drawing a blank. I know who it is. This is pop perfection. I'm not a pop person, but this is, awesome. Easy as it seems. Is That You? Naked City. Shandy. I Love Shandy. She's So European. Talk to Me. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's one of the greatest pop songs ever written. What Makes Your World Go Round. You're All That I Want. I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not a big fan of that song. But yeah. Everything I'm gonna do this for fun. I own it on vinyl over there, but I'm not gonna go dig it up. Right now, I'd throw in Unplugged right now. I should have gotten the vinyl, but I don't. Now, everything I have is 70s Kiss. Because like I said, 70s Kiss, untouchable. It's looked at by everybody, as their greatest release. Not everybody, but most people. My least favorite thing Kiss released in the 70s, other than their solo albums. Alive. This is a perfect live album. One of the greatest ever made. Would easily make my top 10 if I could add more than one band. The only reason this is so low is for the frickin', 8 minute drum solo of Peter. It's a cool drum solo. Really cool. But come on. We need to just stop that. I mean, the Winterland, when they played on the Hotter Than Hell tour, that was like, what, a 4 or 5 minute drum solo? That one's cool. I've seen that one. I've heard that one. That one's fantastic. They could have just added that onto this, because this is fake. But everything else on it's fantastic. It's the only thing. And 100,000 Years is my second favorite Kiss song of all time. I will make a video of my favorite song off of every Kiss album. So, Alive one. After that, another one. Their popular albums are at the bottom. Another fantastic album. Destroy. I have the Resurrected and the normal one. I love this album. However, the only 70s Kiss song, there's 2 70s Kiss songs I don't like. No, there's only one 70s Kiss song. Excuse me. There's only one 70s Kiss song I don't like. and that's Great Expectations. Everything off of this rules. Every other thing, there's not a bad track off of it. You know, and of course, you know, we have the, 5-second, freaking 30-second Rock and Roll Party. Everything off of here is awesome. Flaming Youth, King of the Nighttime World, everything else. Then we have Dress to Kill. Love it, love it, love it. This holds my favorite Kiss song, Room Service. It's been my favorite Kiss song for a while now. I don't know. It just, Peter Criss is just angry drumming on this album. Fantastic. Then we have their disco album. This isn't a disco album. We all know it. I Was Made for Loving You, disco. Dirty Living's kind of disco. Everything else is just straight up rock and roll. My favorite song, I've had 4 favorite songs off this one. 2000 Man was my original favorite. Then we had Hard Times, then Dirty Living. However, my favorite song, since the last time I heard this about a month ago, I played this about a month ago, my favorite song turned to be Magic Touch. Paul was just on it this album. This entire band other than Peter was on it this album. So, I know that was like the last real, no, that's not the last real Kiss album, but where they all played on it, but like the last, you know what I mean. Then we have the debut coming in at number 6, maybe 7, I don't know. Fantastic, perfect album. I even love Love Theme from Kiss. I think that's a great instrumental. I think they should have thrown on the entire Acrobat. And honestly, I do love the song Acrobat. But you could have thrown in any other minute-and-a-half piece from that song other than, because that was my least favorite minute. But it was a cool part. Their first one. Then at number 4, so that one was number 5, we have one that should be number 1, Rock and Roll Over. These, my top 3 studio albums are all basically tied. Love this one. Ladies Room was my favorite Kiss album for a while, and then I threw on Room Service when I was in the car one day. I threw it on streaming, and then I was like, okay, I think I like Room Service more than Ladies Room. But yeah, Rock and Roll Over. Number 3, Hotter Than Hell. How can you not love this? I've heard people say how poor the production is. Honestly, the production, if the production was good, like if they had, Destroyer, Love Gun, Dynasty production, I don't think this would be as high as it is. The songs are great. I used to hate Let Me Go Rock and Roll, but it wasn't until I seen Kiss live last year and they played it live that I really started to appreciate that song a lot more. Strange Ways was at one time my favorite Kiss song. All the Way, my favorite song on this album. It's very underrated. My favorite solo album from my favorite member, who but Ace Frehley. Speeding Back to My Baby is one of my favorite songs ever. He was just on it this album. This is my favorite Ace solo album. However, my favorite Ace solo album since this album was his last one, Spaceman. But that aside, that doesn't really matter in this video because we're only doing Kiss with the makeup and, well, you know what I mean. Ozone, fantastic stuff. Fractured Mirror, awesome. Number 2, my favorite studio album, Love Gun. Yes, I love Then She Kissed Me. Nothing else has to be said. My favorite Kiss release. What else but Kiss Alive 2. This is sentimental. This was Hotter Than Hell, and Rock and Roll Over was my first Kiss album, but this one, got this one for Christmas, and I just listened to it all day for Christmas. This is my favorite era of Kiss. I love the thing. I know all these pictures by heart. The pictures of the band by heart. But yeah, I remember I had this hanging up on my wall for some time, but I took it down. Fantastic. I love all the live songs, but this new studio albums I think tops all the live songs. If I could only live with one Kiss album for the rest of my life, it's gonna be this one. Alright, that's my Kiss ranking. I hope it didn't run too long. Hope you enjoyed it if you watched it, and thank you, and subscribe, because this was my first YouTube video, and I might do more, so